I mean the CSS. I do have the D hat on today. The Cincy Sports Scene. Yes, we will get to the debacle that is the Reds here in the week that was. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, thank you very much. Hit that like and subscribe button. Those of you that are listening on your favorite podcasting platforms, please do the same thing. But you guys cannot see, I do have my Detroit Tigers hat on today. I'm not abandoning the Reds, but I haven't worn it since last year when we actually went to a Tigers Angels game. Um, the Brew Crew guys went up there, so I thought I'd pull it out just for that. I'll probably take it off here in just a second, but we just have to have it on for that. All right. Before we get going, gentlemen, how was last week for you?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was calm. I wasn't on galvan around this country like I've been for most, for all of June. So yeah, it's actually in kind of a normal week. 4th of July was good. Got rained on. I went to a concert and got rained on quite a bit, but it's okay.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Yep. It's good here. Had a little cookout, and then Lydia was in town for the week, so that was good. And Friday, we played a little golf, and then we went to the drive-in. Not bad. Not a bad week. I could do without the fireworks and the dog going crazy, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, let's move on to the week that was. It was a good week for FC Cincinnati.
One team.
Yes, and the Reds had a good half
Till
of
the
a week, I
weekend.
guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, until the weekend. But FC Cincinnati took two. DC, they beat them 3-2, and then Messi was afraid to come to Cincinnati because he knew the shellacking that was going to be put on him, and 6-1, FC Cincinnati, offensive juggernaut that they are, took first place back. So thoughts on the two games, gentlemen?
yeah. I'll defer to you, Carly. I don't know if you watched either of them. I didn't get a chance to watch either of them, but I mean, beating Miami, who at the time was in first place, 6-1. I mean, yeah, you can say, oh, Miami doesn't have Messi or Suarez, but Messi and Suarez don't play defense. So I don't know how you give up 6 goals. That's an insane number, especially considering FCC, their offense just isn't that great outside of Lucho this year. So for them to score 6 goals, I mean, that's a huge statement win for FCC. Puts them in first place in the East, and then first place for the Supporters Shield as well, which they won last year. And if you kind of ask around MLS, that's kind of the trophy that matters. At least to Pat Newton, So that's what matters to the coach, and they can go back to back on that. I don't know how you can be unhappy as a Cincinnati fan.
Yeah, I mean, Miami had won, I believe, 4 in a row, and without Messi and Suarez, they had been gone. They've been gone for a while, so not like they are incompetent when they don't have either of those guys. So, yeah, it was. I mean, we've talked a lot this year about how they can win. They've won a lot of 1-0, 2-1 games, and for I think the month of May and maybe April and May, I don't think they scored more than 2 goals, and they still won more than they lost. And then all of a sudden they put a 6 on a team, which is pretty amazing. A team that's obviously a quality team and has a international Hall of Famer back there in Busquets, and who got a red card and for complaining too much yesterday. And
that was crazy. I saw that.
Yeah. But he must have been saying some things that I mean, the way that they complain in every game, every game you watch, he didn't seem to be complaining that much. So I don't know. I don't know what was going on. I don't know certain words that he said, or I never heard anything about it. But yeah, I mean, and they scored from all kinds of spots. I think Kubo had 2. I think everybody else, their school scores had 1. Kubo's like up to 9 goals now, and his high previous years is 4. Oriano is becoming like an all-star now. So, it's nice to have a team who, gets better as the year goes on, and they seem to have a direction and organization that knows what they're doing, and you can actually put some faith in that things are going to get better. So, that's the main takeaway for me with FC Cincinnati.
And shout out to Pat Noonan. I think he has the highest winning percentage from a coach in their first 90 games in the MLS. So I think it's like over 64%, something like that, winning percentage. Yes, we would like to see that. Just right down the street, instead of
that winning.
Instead of the 40% winning percentage. But hey,
well, and it's also, I mean, Newton, I would take him for sure, but it's also the front office who went out and got. I mean, it's front office who goes out and gets these players, and they don't even just have to scour, the minor leagues, and there's a pipeline with baseball. I mean, they're scouring the whole freaking world. They got one guy from, Czech Republic. They got, a couple guys from South America. They got, they're all over the place finding guys, and they seem to be able to pull them in and mesh them together. And I mean, Noonan's got to do the meshing together on the field.
Right.
So, it's a front office. It's nice when a front office and a head coach are, working together, but now not just working together, but actually know what they're doing.
The Reds did scour. They had a player from Canada. They had a couple players from China, or not China, but Japan. Yeah, Japan. Maybe they should get some Chinese players. Who knows? They got a lot of Dominican, those type of things. So, they do scour a little bit. Speaking of Canadians,
scour poorly.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw Votto. He's
went deep.
Went deep. The prospect has
against single A pitcher.
Yes, exactly. Yes, against a single A pitcher. Hey, but he went deep. He has power. Prospect, Joey Votto.
I wonder if he's a ranked prospect in the Blue Jays system.
He might be.
Where he's at, what number?
With a stolen base. I mean, who knows? Look it up. He might be in their top 10.
God.
All right, let's
I'm gonna
anything else? I know, Sam, you've got something about the national team or
Cincinnati. So the men's Olympic roster was just named for soccer, and Miles Robinson got selected for that.
Right? I was like, where did that go? What?
Yeah, why they
makes no sense.
Makes no sense. You're already missing your two best defenders from injury. You let him go for Copa, and it's kind of just like an understanding that guys play one or the other when both pop up. Every other country, that's how it is. You play one or the other. You don't get to play both. And usually they let the player decide which one he would rather do. And for whatever reason, they're letting Miles Robinson go and play both, knowing full well their two other center backs are out for the season. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So I don't know if either of you have any opinions on that, but it just doesn't make much sense.
It just seemed a weird choice. I mean, he wasn't good enough to play to start or even play 1 minute in any Copa America games. Was there no other American defender of those guys that actually played a minute that they could have chosen? I mean, it seems like the national team doesn't value Miles Robinson very much. I mean, again, he didn't play 1 second in any game. So pick one of those guys who actually played. Pick Chris Richards or, Carter Vickers or whatever, those guys. So
both, because by the time the Olympics come around, the Premier League is starting. So they're not going to, release guys that are going to be part of their, actual, season, I guess, So I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a smart choice on FC's part. So
I don't know if they have any say in it.
I'm pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure the club has to release them and allow them to go.
Yeah, but I think the national team is basically the MLS guys. Those guys, and I'm sure the national team will dictate. They're not dictating to Coventry City and saying Haji Wright has to be released. That's not going to happen. But they're going to MLS is barely above high school guys. I mean, so they don't have any say in anything.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah.
All right. Was that your rant on the national team there? son? Or
No, not really. I
something
mean,
else?
they got grouped at home, which is just insane, and they're still over here twiddling their thumbs about Berhalter. And I just realized this Matt Crocker dude, who I didn't even mention last week, he's not even American. What's he doing over here holding our national team hostage? The president of U.S. or the assistant president of U.S. soccer or whatever, fucking Englishman guy, like over here holding us hostage with Greg Berhalter. Like, ridiculous how U.S. is run. So, and still twiddling their thumbs. Haven't fired the guy yet. Freaking Ecuador makes it out of the group, takes Argentina to penalties, and 5 minutes after they lose in penalties, they fire their coach. And we're still sitting over here with this bold fraud. Like, it's crazy.
Canada made it.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for them with an American coach.
American manager. Who is openly advocated for the U.S. men's national team job. Like, straight up said while he was working on TV that they should fire Greg and hire him. And this guy's got Canada, of all teams, in the semifinals.
Well,
ridiculous.
It's all about building that culture, right?
Oh, God. Yeah, maybe. I'm sure they went, Berhalter and Bell went to the same coaching school.
Yeah. And then go to the Ted Lasso school of building culture, right? So.
I'd take Jason Sudeikis right now. I honestly would.
All right, let's move on because it's getting heated right now just for the national team. I can't wait for the next segment to really listen to some of this heat.
Good vibes only for me.
Good vibes. Oh, look at you.
Oh, I'm done. I'm not getting upset by them anymore. You guys can be upset. I think it's a waste of energy. It's 1995 Bengals right now. It's a waste of energy and time for me to get emotional. So good vibes only. That's why I want to talk about the starting pitchers. There's good vibes there. Outside of that, they can fire every one of them.
All right, let's move on to the Reds here. Started out a great week, sweeping the Yankees, which, I mean, who saw that coming, right? I know we play well against good teams, apparently. Winning record
outside the Brewers.
Yeah, outside the Brewers. Top 5 teams, I guess, record-wise, we are, I think, 12-10 against them. The Brewers is not one of them. The only team that we have a losing record against was the Orioles, who swept us in that early part of May. But so we go into the Bronx, take 3 out of New York, and I don't know if you saw any of the tabloids or any of the newspapers, but they're showing headlines, and I mean they wanted to run the center fielder, whoever he was, out of town because of that lazy.
Oh, Grisham, Trent Grisham.
Yeah, they wanted to run him out, and then they were yelling at Boone because Boone, finally moved Volpe down, who was batting 1-something. He finally moved him down to the 7th hole, and I mean it's night and day from the media, where they give Bell a pass, and I mean they're calling for Boone's head in New York if things don't, and they're in second place.
They're 20 games over 500.
Yeah, they've lost 14 out of the last 17, and it's just, I mean, whatever it is, And
God, if we were 20 games over 500, they'd give David Bell like a 15-year extension.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He'd be the wealthiest guy in Cincinnati.
Oh, but yeah. So that's it's just the different mindset, and that's where New York expects to win. I mean, they've got 27 championships, and they're looking for number 28, and. They don't care. They don't care if you produced yesterday, you better produce today, and that's what we're lacking here. Then we come home and we lay an egg. I don't know. I've got some thoughts on it, but contact play, it's here or there. I mean. Yeah, it sucked because Marte got a hit the very next batter, but Blake Dunn made a good slide, and and the replay almost looked like, I thought he was safe from what I was watching, but he wasn't. I guess, I don't know, sense of urgency when we're playing just mediocre teams, right? It's been a thing all year long, ever since David Bell. It's like we don't beat up on the crappy teams or the teams that we should beat up on. Now, we are under 500, so
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
you
think
know,
we're
yeah,
I think we're one of the crappy
crappy
teams. I
teams,
think
right?
that's
Exactly.
why we don't beat up on them because we're
Right.
not any better than them.
But then why are we beating the Yankees? Why are we beating the
because
Dodgers? Why are we beating the Phillies?
we have a couple guys on the team that shine bright when the lights are bright. I think that's really all that it is.
Yeah, what did Ellie do against the Tigers?
I don't know that he got a hit. I'm looking at his stats for this week. He had 4 hits total. I think they were all in New York. I don't think he got a hit.
So, I mean, did they even get double-digit hits combined 3 games?
But I think they had 3 or 4 today.
And I think that's all they had yesterday as well.
All right, let's thoughts on them.
I thought the starting pitching was great this weekend. I thought it was pretty good. All 3 guys. Ashcraft today, once he got into the 5th, he didn't get out of the 5th. He, kind of got himself into some trouble there.
Yeah, but it wasn't much trouble.
It wasn't. I thought Bell had a
runner on first. Okay, you had Green coming up, Riley Green, the lefty, and Bell brings in Maul. Ashcraft wasn't even at 80 pitches yet. I think he was he might have been at 81 or 82.
He was hovering around 80. Yeah.
But
80, not a lot of pitches.
No. And it's like, save your bullpen, but.
Well, then he brought in Diaz in the 8th, or 7th or 8th, and he just blew up. 2 ball games, he brings in Diaz and blows the game wide open. But I thought the starters were, in New York, they were great, and I thought that they were good this weekend, too. I thought all 3 of them pitched well enough to win each game.
Spears was a little rattled,
Was that Friday?
That was Friday night.
That was him Friday. Yeah, he was okay.
He was okay.
I think he gave up 4 runs in 4 innings or something.
Something like that, yeah.
But again, it wasn't the starting pitching. That's not why why they blew this weekend. I'm again, for me, good vibes. I think, his pitching was good. Bullpen was mediocre, which has been pretty, I think they're a little overhyped because who really can you trust in the bullpen? If your game was on the line, Cruz right now is struggling. He is struggling.
Yeah,
there's no way I'm turning to Sims worth anything.
Nope.
So I think they're a little overhyped, and obviously the hitting is just, it's way below average. So, I think they play they're playing the back of their ball, back of the baseball card. They're a below 500 team. Look at that lineup today.
Oh.
Marte right now needs to be in AAA. Espinal needs to be cut. Just keep, after the first 3 guys, really. After India, Ellie, and Steer, who else is a legitimate, at least even average major league hitter that was in the starting lineup today?
Not a single one of them.
But Candy's
who?
Candelaria.
Okay.
But
yeah,
I'll give you that. He's average. I guess he's average.
He might be average. Might be, right? He has the hot streaks.
But what I'm saying is that, when you run that lineup out, you're not going to win very many games. You're not going to at least consistently win. You're going to have, win a couple games here and lose a couple games here, and it's just the way it is not good enough.
No, and that's because you're right. We have players who we are counting on, and they should not be playing. Friday night, it was kind of interesting when, David Bell, he makes the change from Spears to Maul or something, and the Tigers had, lefties up, and they left them in. Finch is like, no, I'm leaving my guys in. I'm not going to play my 150 hitter because it's a righty lefty matchup. I'm gonna put this guy in and let him just tattoo the ball all over the place. And sure enough, he did.
Something wrong with is Fairchild beat up or something? Why did he not start today?
His back
Oh,
issue.
God.
Yeah, a back issue, and it's like we're playing another man down, right? Martini, they put Martini.
Because I noticed Benson started today. I mean, there's you don't even let him let him out of the dugout if there's a left-hander on the
got a hit
on the.
He was one of
great
the four. One of the four.
Yeah,
or
great.
Five. Maybe
that'll. They had 4 hits today.
Come on, good vibes only. Let's go. He's supposed to maybe that will kickstart him.
God. Edwin Rios gets an at bat.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The last 2 Friday, Saturday, when the Reds had a chance to tie the game, Espinal was the guy who David Bell had up there, and it's like,
right, yeah. Of all the times to pitch hit, like, right there.
But who could he? The problem is he couldn't pitch hit anybody. That's the thing. It was either Levi Jordan or Espinal on Friday night. Saturday was Espinal or.
That's just they don't even have major league guys in the starting lineup. You think they're going to have them on the bench? I mean, on the bench there. I mean, there's like AA guys that are on the bench. So I get a question to ask is the Green question though. Do you leave Green in?
Yes.
Yesterday when he was rolling, he's had 104 pitches. I think he threw 9 pitches in the 7th inning. 1, 2, 3, 7th inning, 9 pitches. The magic 100 pitch number. Is that what you can't go 120 or at least try, go 115, is his arm going to explode when he hits 110 or something? So, that to me was one of the big questions of the weekend.
Yeah.
When he was rolling. I'll allude to this later in the broadcast, but he should have stayed in. I mean, he should have stayed in. I mean, he was dealing. Right? I mean, 7 innings, 3 hits, shutout ball, and he was okay with coming out. But that's the mentality.
That is the mentality.
I mean, Juan Marichal back in the day would have punched the manager. Like literally, he would have punched Bob Gibson. Would have kicked Bell right in the ass and said,
Nolan Ryan would have pointed and said, "Get your ass back to the dugout! Right? Don't you come out here? I'm bleeding. Get out here. I'm staying in."
And I think even not even to go back far. I think Clayton Kershaw would do something like that. I think I think you don't think Verlander would have told Bell to go stick his head in the toilet and I don't want to see you again. I mean, I think so.
Scherzer definitely would.
Scherzer would have.
So I mean, it's just that mentality of these young pitchers who never in the minor leagues. They all throw 5 innings every game. They never ever go longer than 5 innings in single A, double A, whatever.
They don't work out of trouble.
So
they don't. So that's the thing. They don't know how to pitch out of trouble. So yeah. All right, so I have we don't even want to talk about I don't know. So Ellie is our all-star, which I think we all probably thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
somebody's got to be the all-star, right?
Somebody's got to be, and of everybody on the team, he's the most deserving.
Yeah.
I mean, who else would you pick?
Yeah, I mean.
No, I mean,
no one else even close.
Maybe
Freddie Benavides, get an extra bench guy there.
We give two coaches.
2 coaches, yeah. I mean,
clubhouse manager.
Maybe I was gonna say maybe the bullpen catcher. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he gets a lot of work.
He does get a lot of work. You
maybe the analytics department, maybe Bell, pulls the analytics so they can get those lefty-righty matchups. Come the 6th inning. So
yeah, I wonder if Bell got going to be I wonder if he's going to be the bench coach or if he's going to be coaching first or third or just the errand boy, the gopher boy. Go give me a hot dog.
6th inning. when everybody's got to get their at bat, he's gonna have those matchups lined out perfectly. That's his role on the team.
That's his role. Okay. All right. Well, congrats to Ellie. He did decline the home run derby, which was smart on his part for the second year in a row. Because Lord knows we don't need any more holes in his swing. So we'll see. We'll see how much he plays and etc. So now I got a question for you guys, and this goes back for the last 2 seasons. Would you rather have injuries to your pitching staff like last year, and you have to run out the Ben Lively's and Luke Weavers and whoever else they were, Connor Phillips and Zion Richardson or whatever his name was,
Connor Overton,
those guys like that? Or would you rather have the injuries to your regular lineups like McLean's and the Marte, even though Marte wasn't injured, but suspension, CES, those guys, and you have to run out, the Friedels, and you have to run out your Stewies and your Will Benson every day. And
well, I mean, if you just base on results, I guess I'd rather have more injuries in my pitching staff because, I mean, if you just compare last year to this year, yeah, I mean, they've been, they were able to somehow put some things together last year, and they were better last year than they are this year. So yeah, I guess just based on that, and kind of I think of the Brewers too. The Brewers are a mess when it comes to their pitching staff. They've had a lot of different guys that have run through their pitching staff this year, and I mean, they're 15 games over 500. So yeah, I think it's just based on those results. I would say I'd like my hitters to be intact.
I think it's easier to find serviceable pitching than it is as we've seen, than serviceable hitting. Replacement level hitting is guys hitting a $182. Whereas replacement level pitching, the guy's got a 4-something ERA. You can maybe skirt around that if your offense is putting up some numbers. So yeah, I definitely think you have to lean injuries towards the pitching staff if you're going to get hit by the injury bug.
Until you get to October.
Yeah.
Get those shut down pitching.
Or in the Reds' case, September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't got to worry about October.
No. All right. Well, let's go on to our pitcher of the week, hitter of the week, and I think we got a whole bunch of players who should be demoted. So, especially after the Tiger series. Who do you got for the hitter of the week there, or pitcher of the week, Sam?
I was going to go with Hunter Green. Thought his start on Saturday was excellent. I know I'd have liked to see him go out in the 8th, try and get through the 8th inning and hold the lead, but I thought he was dominant in the 7 innings that he did pitch.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Andrew Abbott had a really, really good start against the Yankees, which they did too. and won it. So he'd be my, I'd say Green and Abbott would be my, but I'm fine with Green.
Yeah, I think Green. If Ashcraft would have got the victory today, I would have said Ashcraft because he would have had 2 victories, 3 victories if you count the standoff and the standing national anthem standoff there in Yankee Stadium. But who's counting that? That's the only thing that brings you joy. Then we got a long season ahead. We're at 90 games right now. Oh well. Let's move forward to the hitter of the week. This could be unanimous, I think. Could be. What do you got, Crawley?
I guess you're saying it should be unanimous, huh? I guess I'll go with Steer. I mean, he had 3 home runs this week. Nobody had. I'm looking right now. Nobody had a good average. They're all. I mean, Steer actually had the best average too at 273. So So yeah, so I guess it's got to be Steer, home runs
That's
and average.
Yep, that's who I was going with.
Yeah, I had Steer as well. Yep.
So I thought, yep. See that clean sweep. All right. How many should be demoted? We should say, not who. How many? All right. Who should be demoted off this? Gosh.
No, I'm going with Noelvi. I mean, he can't hit right now. I'm looking at his line for this week. He was 3 for 23, 10 striking. That's it seems like every time the ball's hit to him, he's bobbling it or he's throwing it away or just doesn't field it cleanly. And I think he needs to go back down to AAA and just figure it out. I don't know.
Well, this team is so limited. I mean, he should have stayed at AAA. He wasn't hitting there either. I mean, he was batting like 150 or something. They rushed him up here because they have no other options. He should have stayed at AAA maybe the whole rest of the year and just get a bunch of at bats, less pressure and whatever. But who are you going to put him there? I mean, Espinal is. I mean, is no better. So, I mean, I think you can run. I mean, on a regular basis, Espinal is getting a lot more at bats than why are you not running Candelario, India, Ellie? Well, I guess Marte. I mean, Marte's playing every day. How is Espinal still getting all these at bats? I haven't figured that out either. With that, I know India DH today. I don't know if Marte DH'd or something the other day too, or Candelario or somebody, I guess. But
Candelario DH'd
one day.
Yeah. So I don't know why Espinal's getting. He should be getting one start a week, and then only if somebody's injured should he be playing ever again at all. Well, so he should be demoted as well. I'm going. You said it. I mean, there's too many guys to name. But I'll just because Sam said Marte, I'm going to throw out Espinal.
So.
You're going with Blake Dunn?
Yeah, Blake Dunn.
I mean, he can't hit Major League pitching, so.
No, but Major League pitching can hit him, so, hey.
He needs to do the Bad News Bears end.
Yeah.
Get in there, get on first, steal second, steal third.
Bell should be yelling at him if he doesn't stick his elbow out or his head.
Yeah.
Reach in the cooler. That's what Bell needs to do. Just sit on
crowd the plate, get those elbows out there.
Right.
I feel bad for Bell at times because he's like, "What? Look at this crap. How am I supposed to construct a lineup with this?"
Yeah,
crap?
I'd feel bad for him if I didn't have 5 previous years of looking.
Well, that is true.
Of nonsense.
Of nonsense. That is true. But yeah, this one is. I had Espinal, but I mean, any one of them could go down. I mean, Espinal, Soto, who got called right back up because our boy Martinez.
Well, Rios played today.
Yeah, Rios. I mean, it's like, who are these guys? I have no idea. We had some.
Well, hell, one of those guys, was it Soto? Whatever, got designated for assignment. Well, one of those guys, one of those no-name guys, and so did Austin Wins, and he's back at the Reds like 2 days later. Yeah. I mean, they had 2 guys like that. They got designated for assignment within the last week, and they're both with the Reds.
Well, that's because the landscape of MLB looked around and said, "We don't want you." And
hey, you know who the next Red's going to be? Nick Senzel is going to be bringing him back.
Say that they might. Actually, would you rather have Nick Senzel?
Oh, I would take Nick over I mean, he's terrible, but he's better than what we got.
Hey, Espinal hasn't been injured yet, so Senzel's good for.
Neither has Senzel yet.
Well, at the beginning of the year he was. Remember, he was supposed to start opening day, and
he got a little hamstring,
little boo boo on his whatever.
Yeah. But
I'd be shocked if they don't bring Senzel back.
If you bring Senzel back, you don't have to put Benson out there anymore because Nick can go against the left-handed and.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'd be shocked if they don't.
Yeah, yes, I would too. And then
I mean, do they have to trade for him if he's designated for assignment? Is there like the 10-day thing or something, or is he just a free agent basically?
They DFA'd him, so he has to go through waivers and all that kind of stuff. And
so another team could pick him up though.
I think that's how that works. Don't quote me on it, but I think
I don't know.
Is he a free agent?
Select free agency if he wants to.
That's true. That might be.
Select to go to free agency.
Yeah, I think it's if you're out of options and they send you down, that's when
Yeah, because he didn't get sent down. He just got straight up
DFA'd. Yeah.
Which basically, I mean, you have an X amount of days where you can either outright them, release them, or trade them. So.
And speaking of DFAs, I don't know if you saw this. Our boy Mike Ford, who was the savior.
I did not see this.
He was supposed to be the savior. Everybody was clamming for him to call him up, Ford. You get 560 something in spring training, and he's not on the team. Martini is, blah, 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 whatever. He signed with the Shogun Warriors out of Japan. I don't know, but he's over in Japan now.
Oh my God.
So yeah. So, Major League Baseball looked around and said, no, thank you.
Nobody wanted him.
Nobody. So
and there's a lot of bad hitting across Major League Baseball right now. So it's amazing that somebody didn't want to take him.
Nope. They're like, no. Nope. So yeah. So Mike Ford is on a plane to Japan. Good luck, Mike. Find your swing. Come back, and you could start for the Reds. All right, there we go. The Reds, we've got 7 games left till the break. And Colorado comes to town. Better win, and then Miami comes to town before the break. And, I said if we go 7-3, 8-2, we can't go 8-2.
Can't go 8-2.
But 7-3 is still a possibility, right? Let's do it, boys. I took off.
They're going to go 7-0.
That'd be awesome. We can go 7-3. And that would be.
What's more likely? They go 7-0 or 0-7?
Probably 7-0.
Good vibes only. 7-0.
7-0. I don't know if they were playing on the road. They might be 7-0.
Right.
If they're playing at home, could be 0-7. All right, we're going to move on to trivia here because we've got our part 2 of our great debate bracket coming up. Sam, you had trivia last week, or was it Crawley who had trivia?
I had it, but I don't remember what my question was.
I think we all got it.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
It was an NBA. It was a draft question.
Oh,
NBA
yeah.
Draft.
It was who was the last non-one and done
Yeah.
for the last number 1 pick from the one and done era that wasn't one and done or an international guy. And Crawley got it with Blake Griffin. That's right.
All right. So let me pull up my trivia. Now this is, you have to put your thinking caps on, boys. Because this is a Charlie Crawley special.
A 3-parter?
A 3-parter, yes, a 3-parter. All right. So this is football related, Bengals related question. The Bengals have had 10 head coaches in their historic franchise. How many can you name? And that's part 1. Part 2, which head coach has the highest winning percentage? Part 3 is which coach has the worst or the highest losing percentage or the worst winning percentage?
Like the worst winning percentage?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Just how many can we name?
How many head
Up to
coaches
10?
I
can you
mean,
name?
do you want us to go back and forth or something?
No, just this is trivia. However you guys want to do it.
We'll take Zach Taylor right off the bat. The easiest one.
That's
I'll go old school while you want to go new school, Sam.
All right.
So I'll go Tiger Johnson.
Bill Johnson. Yep, that's.
All right. Well, then we'll go Marvin Lewis.
There you go. That's 3.
We'll go Homer Rice.
There you go. There's 4.
Who was the guy before Marvin?
Dave Shula.
Dave Shula is one of them, so that's 5.
Was he right before? Was it Dick LeBeau right before Marvin?
Dick LeBeau.
Yeah.
6.
Bruce Coslett.
That's 7. He was right.
Sam Weiss.
Sam Weiss is 8.
Forrest Gregg.
Is 9. One more.
Paul Brown.
Paul Brown. There you go. It's 10. Woo! Look at you guys. You know your Bengals coaches. I thought maybe Coslett or Homer Rice might get somebody, but not these boys.
Oh, highest winning percentage. I don't know.
Highest winning percentage.
That's a tough one. I almost want to say Marvin.
Yeah, that would not shock me.
I kind of want to say Marvin.
But I don't know what. I don't know. I mean, Forrest Gregg's years. I mean, he had the Super Bowl year. But I can't think the year after that was like a scab year. So that I don't remember that. I don't think they were all that great. He wasn't even here that many years, though. Sam White's year, I think those were pretty up and down.
I'm going to say Marvin. Is it Marvin?
It is not Marvin.
Marvin?
Marvin was third
Third.
with a .518 winning percentage.
Not Paul Brown, is it?
It is not Paul Brown.
Okay.
He had a .495 winning percentage.
I think they were pretty mediocre his few years.
He was one game under 500 with a tie.
Sam Weiss then? Sam Weiss.
Sam Weiss, no. He was 5 games under 500. He was a .480 winning percentage. All right, let's go on to the losers. Who had the highest or the lowest winning percentage?
Dick LeBeau.
Yeah, I was going to say Dick LeBeau.
It had to be Dick LeBeau or Dave Shula. Had to be one of those two.
Dick LeBeau edges Shula out with a .267 winning percentage. Shula had a .268.
And Shula coached for how many years? Like 5-6 years of that.
4 years. He was 92 to 96. He had a 19-52 record. LeBeau went from 2000 to 2002. He had a 12-33.
19-58.
Yeah. Homer Rice.
He was bad, or they were bad then too. I knew that.
Went 78-79. He was 8-19 for .296.
So they've had 3 coaches under 300.
Yeah.
Tiger Johnson wasn't all that good either, I don't think.
No, Tiger was at 545. He was second.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
I would not have guessed that.
He was 76, 78, 18-15. Yep.
Still could have had Bill Walsh.
Still could have. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. But what would we have done with Homer Rice then? I mean, you know.
Where's Zach Taylor at? Is he at 500 yet?
Nope. He's.
I know those first 2 years were real bad. So
yeah, he's 37, 41, and 1, or 37, 44, and 1. So he's 7 games under 500.
I wonder if we brought that up when we did that "What If" episode. What if the Bengals would have picked Bill Walsh over Tiger Johnson?
Did we?
I thought we had a Bill Walsh. Yeah, I think you brought that up.
That's a big one. That could have changed NFL history.
Yeah,
could have, but I was reading that Paul Brown didn't like the West Coast offense.
Of course not, because it wasn't ground and pound, 3 yards in a cloud of dust like they like to play back then.
Wasn't Booby Clark up?
Even though Paul Brown was like, didn't he like the first one to have the forward, like really get the forward pass, like as an
Otto Graham,
important part of the offense?
Yep. So, all right. So next week, Crawley's got the question, trivia question. We'll review the 10 coaches and the Bengals stuff here. So, all right, moving on to our topic of the week. It is the Great Debate Bracket. This is part 2. It's our baseball bracket. And Charlie is going to be the host with the most. He is going to decide between Sam and I's debate who is moving on to the next round. So he sent the questions out to us, gave us time to prep. So hopefully we'll be able to, do a good debate for y'all. We'll have about a minute to debate our topic, and then Crawley will put it to the vote. So, all right, Charlie, you take it away.
Yeah. And what I try to do with these is once I sent them out to you, I thought nothing about them. Like I don't even remember what I even sent out. So I mean, I did write them down. So that's
good.
I didn't want to be swayed by us too much.
You got
going
your
in,
phone handy to get the timer? because I can't be distracted.
Oh,
When I'm
that's
on
right.
the
1
news.
minute. That's right. 1 minute
1 minute.
per person, right?
1 minute per person. Yeah.
Okay. I do now. Okay, so 1 minute per person. Okay, so the first one is today's MLB game. Today's better? The game of MLB today better? Or is the game of the past better? And Dave, you have the past, and Sam, you have today's game.
Who's going first?
I have you listed first, so
Me?
you'll go
All
first.
right.
So
All
the
right,
game
I'll
of
go
the
first.
past is better. 1 minute, go.
All right. The game of the past is so much better because they've had the true rivalries. None of this scheduling where you have to have interleague play and, for crying out loud, the Dodgers are done already. They don't come in anymore. You only play them 7 times. Your own division, you only play 13 times. Forget about that stuff. Back then, higher batting averages. I know, analytics. So who cares about batting averages? Well, look at the Reds. They don't have a high batting average, and look where we're at. The running game. We had the running game. MLB had to fix rules in the last couple of years to bring back the stolen base because nobody could do it. So there you go. Collisions, hard slides. Blake Dunn. If it wasn't for the softness of MLB, we could have relived the 1970 All-Star game. Pete Rose, Ray Fosse, Blake Dunn, boom, rushing into the
Okay, stop.
batter. Oh, man, I still got more to go, man.
That's your 1 minute.
Damn,
1 minute.
Sure?
I even gave you 1 minute and 0.79 seconds. So.
Man, I've got like 7 more topics, questions.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Sam, tell me why the game of today is better.
Yeah, just chicks dig the long ball. It's all about the home run. We don't care about batting average anymore. Analytics, improve the game drastically. Most exciting play in baseball is the home run. So, let's focus on that. That's what we're doing. Pitchers, easiest way not to allow a home run, don't let the hitter hit it. So you strike them out. So pitchers are better. Hitters are focusing on the most, fun part for fans to watch. As far as scheduling goes, it's better to play every team every year. Fans want to see other teams. Pretty much every other league does it that has, more than 16 games. NFL is the only one that doesn't because they just physically can't. NBA, NHL, MLS, that you play everybody. So it's about time baseball gets with the times and actually does that. Players are just more fun to watch. Bigger, faster, stronger. They're not juiced up. This is all, all natural, unless you're Noelvi Marte. It's natural skill out here now. So.
Stop. Okay, that was your 1 minute.
Can I rebuttal?
Nope. you didn't give us that offer last week, so I can't do that.
You didn't ask.
Okay, that was pretty good. Yeah, Sam, I will say there was one thing you brought up the scheduling, and I do like that you compared it to the other leagues because they all do that. They all do intra-league scheduling, so that was a good point. But you missed the one thing had thought of, or one thing that I was hoping you'd say, and that's the pitch clock, because I love the pitch clock.
Oh, pitch clock.
Yeah, I love the pitch clock.
Well, if you'd have let me keep going, I had.
Why can't you get 1 minute? You get 1 minute.
I had games were faster back then. Pitchers went 9 innings.
Okay. Well, since you're complaining about your own rules, I'm going to go with Sam on this one, and the game of today is better because of the pitch clock.
Which he didn't say. So, yes. All right.
My pitch clock went off, so I bring it up anymore.
Yeah, just for that, I'm going to go with Sam on this. So,
okay. Let's see how we are now.
I was leaning towards you, Dave, but too much complaint about the rules you made. So I'm gonna go with the game of today, pitch clock, and I do like the scheduling. You have to play the Red Sox and whatever every year. So, okay, so that's number one. Number two, let's see. So, which is a more special skill or more special talent, however you want to define it. Dave, you get throwing a fastball at 100 miles an hour, or in Sam, you get hitting a 100-mile-per-hour pitch. And Sam, you'll go first on this one. So we'll start with hitting a 100-mile-per-hour pitch is a more special talent or skill. And go.
Yeah, I mean, we've always said the old cliche, hardest thing to do in all the sports is hitting a fastball. And that was, they probably came up with that when fastballs were topping out at 90, 92. So now throw it at 100. Hardest thing to do in sports. So the fact that guys are even able to do it, just the reaction time alone. I mean, 100 mile per hour, you can't even see the seams on it. So just to be able to pick that up, recognize one, that it's fastball, not a changeup or a slider, be able to hit it with power, hit it consistently. I mean, what some of these guys can do, you look at the Shoheis of the world. I mean, you could probably throw Shohei a 150 mile per hour pitch. He'd probably take it the first time, but he'd have the timing down by the second one. Just some of these guys are just incredible at what they could do. It's a shame the Reds don't have somebody like that, honestly, that could actually hit a 100 mile per hour pitch consistently. But yeah, I'd say it's probably the hardest thing to do. So that's what makes it more special. All these guys out
right
here.
On the dot. 1 minute. Okay, Dave. How about throwing a 100-mile-per-hour pitch?
I think it's, pitchers are more pitchers now are starting to throw 100 miles an hour because of the science that is behind it. So they go to all these schools and they're just seeing how far you can throw and how hard you can throw. And back in the day, it was just like, hey, we just got to get you through the 8 innings, the 9 innings, those kind of things. Right now you're just going to throw. And there are spin rates and all that kind of stuff. The grip. Sam said the guys are getting bigger. Yeah, the pitchers have to get bigger and they have to keep throwing harder because the players are, the hitters are trying to catch up to the pitchers. But here's the thing, not everybody is throwing 100 miles an hour. It does take a special skill set, and, it takes a gift from God, having this arm and your body mechanics all lining up. You can run into a fastball once in a while, pitcher, guy can hit. The Reds have done that this year.
Stop. Okay. Yeah, that was a tough one too. I think Dave, you swung me a little bit on that because I think there's more guys that can hit it than they can throw it. And the Skeens of the world, these guys that are ridiculously good, being able to throw these 100-mile-per-hour pitches consistently. And even, we don't have a guy that can hit 100 mile per hour. We do have a guy that can throw it 100 green. So I'm gonna go with pitching, throwing at 100 miles an hour on that one.
And MLB will feel sorry for the batters and they'll move the mound back or drop it again, but.
Okay. So here's another old school, new school number 3 is, so DH or no DH. And Sam, you got the DH, and Dave, you have the no DH form of baseball. So Dave, you're going first.
All right.
Argue, tell us why there should not be a DH.
Get off my lawn. That's what it seems like.
That's right.
Nobody wants to see an aging, overweight vet hang on and play as a DH only. Come on. We all were like Mike Ford, Nick Martini. No. Nobody wants
Mike
that right
Ford
there. Right,
twice.
That's right there. No. DHs are the only 3 outcome hitters. No, you don't see any DHs hit for average anymore. They just want to hit the home runs. They're one-dimensional players. Pitchers should have to face the opposing team. So, like if your pitcher is buzzing people, hitting people, they need to be in the batter's box to face that. There's also more strategy in the game, because you have to be able to, hey, do I need to pinch hit for this guy? That. And then it's just, this reduces Tinkerbell's ability to switch players out of the lineup. It has a more consistent lineup because he can't say, hey, I want to bring this guy in to pinch hit, here. So, all that kind of stuff.
Stop.
Plus it also...
Okay, Sam, why should we have a DH?
Yeah, because nobody wants to see 90% of these pitchers up there with a wet noodle, if they even swing the bat. Luis Castillo, for some reason, was hitting in his last start for the Mariners. But then the back corner of the batter's box didn't, get the bat off his shoulder. No that, and you go, pitchers that can hit for every Micah Owings and Carlos Zambrano. I've got a David Ortiz and an Edgar Martinez. Like, come on, these are
Shohei Ohtani.
And he's a DH. He's not a pitcher. He's a DH.
He'll be a pitcher.
DH. So, I mean, like I said, he's a DH. When he's in the lineup, he's DHing. I mean, we don't need to see it. The novelty was so few and in between of pitchers that could actually hit, could actually hold their own. Let's get real big league hitters up here in the lineup that can actually contribute. It just furthers my analytics argument. More guys to hit the home runs, the better.
And stop. Okay. The fact, well, I'm gonna go with Sam on this with the DH. Dave, your problem is you mentioned Mike Ford twice in this whole podcast, so the fact you brought his name up twice means
That's why you should have a DH. His name would never have been on our podcast if he wasn't a DH.
Your argument's invalid because you brought his name up twice. So.
That was very valid. It's very valid.
Lolo, who's never like until the major league swing a bat.
No, but seriously, I did. I was a little biased on already because I hated pitchers hitting. So I'm DH all the way on that one. So
I like pitch. I mean, I like the hitters. I do like the DH too. But for the argument,
yeah, good. So
gotta do it.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, next one. There's another old school. I definitely put you two in your. I slotted you in where you belong. So on this, so
I think we belong.
Yeah. So the question is: bat flips and showboating good or not good for the game of baseball? So Sam, you're arguing that it is a good thing, and Dave, you're arguing it is not a good thing. So. So I think who's up? Sam first on this one then?
Yeah,
okay,
Sam's
so
up first.
Bat flips and showboating good for baseball. And go.
Yeah, it's good for baseball. It's great to have the flair. Let the guys show their personality. Too many times baseball, the guys are just so rigid and focused. Let them show off their personality a little bit. Have some fun while they're out there playing because, after all, it is a game. We kind of forget that all these kids, growing up, we always wanted to have fun while we were playing it. That was part of it. We're doing this out there playing wiffle ball. We're bat flipping, so why can't the big leaguers do it? I think it's the inverse. It's not a trickle down. It's a trickle up, if you want to say that. See the little leaguers doing it, so it should be in the big league game. Bat flips and showboating. I mean, for crying out loud, the NFL, the no fun league, you're allowed to celebrate your touchdowns. So why can't you celebrate your home runs? You can, NBA. Basketball, you celebrate your 3-pointers and your dunks. Why can't you celebrate your home runs? You got your goal scoring celebrations. Why can't you celebrate your home runs? You don't like it? Don't give up the home runs. Not that hard, right? So.
And 1 minute. Okay. Dave, get rid of those bat flips and showboating.
First of all, it's very, very poor sportsmanship, right? Showing up the opposing team, pitchers, those type of things. But the real one is act like you've been there before, right? One of the greatest running backs of all time, Barry Sanders. He didn't spike a ball. He didn't do this. He just handed the ball there, walked right back, whatever.
Retired early, burn out.
Act like you've been there before, right? I mean, here's the thing, right? Ellie De La Cruz, great showman, all these guys, but they're batting at 240. He hits a home run once every 7 games or whatever, it's like, oh, now you're going to bat flip. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. Come on now. And Sam, no, it is a trickle down effect. I'm sorry. I don't want to see T-ball players coming up there with walk-up songs, bat flipping, throwing there, lifting up their shirts, running around with a juice box in their hands. No, man. It's like, come on now.
Throwing oranges at other kids.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, there's a proper way to play this game. You can
hey, stop. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dave because that last thing there about T-ball kids flipping bats and stuff. That'd be awesome. Actually, that might be an argument on the other side because that would be cool. You see a T-ball kid wearing chains and stuff and things like that. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with Dave because just for the image of the T-ball kid. So with that one, okay, good stuff. Okay, next one. Cooler stadiums. Cooler is, not stadium, the better stadiums, the old school ballparks, Wrigley and Fenway. Dave, you taking that one, or the new parks like GABP and PNC? And Sam, you're taking that one. So I think Dave, you're up first, right, on this one.
Yep.
Okay, so you're arguing for Wrigley and Fenway and those kind of parks. And go.
So here we go. The history, the atmosphere. People come in. It's like It's like a cathedral. You walk in and it's just like you're just blown away from all the history that has been there. You're closer to the game, right? The stands are right on top. There's a lot of quirks and nuances of the stadiums that you have to do. But here's the main reason why. Building ballparks, the new ballparks are being built to resemble the old time ballparks. So if that is not, an argument for which is better, the nostalgia of the old ballparks, because, they are building, Camden Yards was the first one to go retro. And now all these parks are trying to bring back the fans onto the field. And that's what the old stadiums had.
The end?
The end, yes.
Okay. And Sam, what about the new ballparks are better?
First off, old stadiums are dumps. We don't need them. The only reason that these new stadiums are resembling old stadiums is because they're not multi-purpose anymore. You don't have to fit a football field in there, so you can actually put fans on the field.
Probably in Boston, no.
Right, and they're dumps. I mean, yeah, but they're also these new stadiums. It wasn't even your turn. These new stadiums are bigger.
That's a big interruption there.
You don't have any obstruction. You don't have any obstructions sitting. I shouldn't be sitting in section 105 with a pole right here, and I can't even see home plate. I shouldn't be sitting in Fenway facing the monster when home plate is here, turning my body 90 degrees. These stadiums are made for the fan. The fan. Every stadium now, you sit in your seat and it's slightly angled towards home plate so you can always see the action. That's how it should be. I shouldn't, get a hernia because I'm trying to watch David Ortiz hit. And, also these stadiums are made for normal sized people now, whereas Fenway, if you're taller than 5'6", it's a pain in the butt. You can't even sit down properly. I mean, new stadiums all the way. One, they're also just nicer to look at. They're more appealing on the inside.
Okay, stop. That was your minute there. Okay. Good arguments from both of you. Sam, you brought up a big point for me, and that's how I love the seats angled towards the field. And that's a very small thing, but a big thing. And I've been in a stadium recently that wasn't like that, and I really noticed it compared to GAVP. So I'm going with the new stadiums. And I think Wrigley's a dump as well. So,
but everybody wants to go to Wrigley and everybody wants to go to Fenway. So there.
Yeah,
so
one time. Good point. You didn't say that in your minute, though.
I was trying to. But I should have. Yep.
Okay, number 6. Which record is going to be tougher to break? Sam, you have Cal Ripken's Ironman streak. 26-32 straight games played. And Dave, you have Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak. And so we are on Sam first. Argue for the Ironman streak. Yep.
Yeah, it's tougher to break because nobody even plays 162 anymore. So I don't know how you're going to, play 2,600 plus. Guys they're just not allowed. 2, they're just not built to do that anymore. They're taught to go all out every single game. So, you're going to play 5-6 games a week. You're going to have one day off a week pretty much built in, especially if you play for an analytics-driven manager like David Bell, who likes to play the matchups. It just makes it really hard to do to even play 162, let alone do that for 20 years. And I honestly, I don't think guys care to do it. There's no reason. The money's too good. There's no reason to try and play through injuries and risk your future earnings by potentially injuring yourself further. I just don't think that there's a mentality. I don't think guys care about that record. So I don't think it'll ever be broken. That's what makes it tougher.
Okay, thank you. And Dave DiMaggio's hitting streak.
All right. So first thing I want to point out is Ripken didn't have the record. He had to break the record, right? Lou Gehrig had it. So this record can be broken. DiMaggio set the record. No one has broken it since.
But I had the record before. If he said it,
he said it. He was the first one. They did not.
Okay, interruptions here. Come on.
They didn't keep track until DiMaggio started. So there.
Keep going, Dave.
So the closest has been Rose in 78 with 44 games, right? Pitching, as we said, is harder to hit today. Batting averages are the league average is 240. More pitchers, the analytics side of it, right? They're bringing in the righty lefty matchups. They're bringing in lefty on lefty. Guys are throwing, bullpen coming in, throwing 100 miles an hour, trying to get out the hitters. And contact hitters are non-existent today. I mean, you don't have those singles and doubles hitters like you had in the past, where everybody was putting the ball in play, making contact, putting the ball in play.
Stop. Okay. Now the real answer to this is neither one is going to be broken. But yes, I mean you guys were playing the correct game. This was a tough one because I don't think either one's going to be broken. So
the record was broken. I mean, get out of here. And then
but it was broken.
All-time home run record at 1 before Tommy Blue Shoes hit 2. Like that's how stats work.
Okay.
But it was broken more recently.
Okay, I'm gonna go with DiMaggio on this one because Sam's more argumentative on this one. So I'm gonna go with Dave on this one for the hitting streak. Even though I don't think even though in reality neither one's gonna be broken, and probably the Ripken one is probably gonna be the harder one to break because everything you said is right, Sam. Nobody plays because of analytics. Nobody even plays 7 games in a row, let alone. I wonder one thing I should have looked up is what the league leader was. Like, what is the leader right now in Major League Baseball? It's probably
the games played.
80 games. Probably not even that. Who knows? But I bet you it's not very high. I mean, you got to get what? You got to play in the field 1 inning, or you got to get in at bat 1. I don't know. For Ripken, you got to
5 innings.
He went through 5 innings every game. So officially, he actually played a game.
Yep.
Okay.
Game.
Oh yeah, that can't be high. Today. But hitting streak you don't hear about either. I mean, what's the last guy you heard even 20 games?
Well,
so Whit Merrifield had a streak of 553, and that ended in 2023. So,
okay, well,
most recent one, and that's a quarter basically, not a little less.
Yeah. So, but for the argumentative side, I'm going to go with Dave on this one on the DiMaggio streak.
Oh yeah, because nobody had ever had a hit streak before.
Nope.
Nope. Look it up. Nope.
I just say Dave versus Sam. Go. That's your debates.
That'd be good.
Okay. Okay. Next. Number 7 is the best baseball son. So your choices are, and this is about baseball. I had to throw this in because it was going to be real tough if you're going to use the whole person. So just as a baseball player, best baseball son. Sam, you're arguing for Barry Bonds, and Dave, you're arguing for Ken Griffey Jr. Okay, and I think we're Dave first, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Ken Griffey Jr. is the best baseball son. And go.
He was the sweetest swing in baseball, right? I mean, people are saying that he should be the new logo of Major League Baseball, that swing. He probably would have had the home run record if not for injuries. He's a Cincinnati kid. I mean, this is a Cincinnati podcast, right? I mean, you got it. That has to rank up there. He came back home, played for the hometown Reds. Defensively playing center field, just going over, robbing home runs, hitting home runs, but he did it all natural. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, that's part of baseball, right? I mean, he did it. He didn't have to have any enhancers, alleged enhancers, but we all know Big Head Barry didn't have a big head in Pittsburgh, but he had a big head once he got to San Francisco. So Junior all the way.
And stop. Okay. Sam, Barry Bonds, better player.
Yeah. Well, one, the big head was just ego that he got from being the best player in baseball. Had nothing to do with any juice or anything like that. The home run king. I mean, he still has more intentional walks than the entire Rays franchise, which is just a mind-boggling stat. There was one year where he reached base safely more often than he had official at-bats, which, I mean, if you don't follow baseball, you're like, how does that even happen? I mean, more steals than Griffey, higher batting average than Griffey, more MVPs. Neither one has a championship, so you can't really use that as a differentiator at all. I guess you could say, well, Griffey's in the Hall of Fame. Bonds should be too, honestly, at this point. He's a bit, I think people just don't like him personally. And, these voters, they do hold grudges against people they don't like on a personal level. But, I mean, he's got all-time records. Griffey doesn't have any of those. So I think that just separates him right there.
Top. Another good argument. Yeah. Good debate there. That's also another tough one because I see Griffey as, if it was the best all-around player, counting everything, it's probably Griffey. But in terms of what Bonds could do, he was better. So I'm going to go with Bonds on this. Probably if I had to, if I picked those, what you said with the intentional walks and that group of that thing of 5 seasons or whatever that Bonds had was just maybe the best ever. So, and that's why I get with the natural thing, but that's why I was trying to keep us away from that issue. And I know it's important. I know it's like part of the game. Yeah, because I'm
not in the Hall of Fame.
I would rather have Griffey any day, but that's also because Bonds was an ass. But so I'm gonna go Bonds on this. So okay. And our last one is the best team ever. And Sam, you are arguing for the 27 Yankees, and Dave, you have the 75 Reds. And we are, Sam first, right?
Sam first. Yep.
Okay. And go, 27 Yankees.
Yeah, my biggest argument is when people say, greatest teams of all time, 27 Yankees is the first one that comes up. And people usually, when they get to reference the Reds, they don't say 75. They just say Great Red or Big Red Machine. They don't necessarily pick out a year. So that's why I think 27 Yankees gets the nod there. And then you also just look at the players, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, probably 2 better players than anybody the Reds had. I know Bench is definitely up there. But I mean, they were Murderers Row, so they've still got a pretty good nickname as well as the Reds did. I think just better overall players. They won 110 games that season, swept the Pittsburgh Pirates in the World Series. I mean, they had a plus 400 run differential. I mean, they were just better than anybody before them and since then.
Okay. And Dave, 75 Reds.
75 Reds are better than the 27 Yankees. They had 108 wins. They had to go against better competition, right? The Pirates won 92 games, who they had to beat in the National League Championship game. The Red Sox won 95. They had to go through 12 teams in the National League, where the Yankees only had 8 teams that they had to go against. And if you look back in the 27, I mean, those teams were horrible. They also won, World Series. The Reds had a deeper lineup from 1 through 8. They had better pitching. Pete Rose, the hit king, right, holds a record. None of the Yankees holds a record anymore. They had Joe Morgan, Hall of Famer. Tony Perez, Hall of Famer. George Foster, Davey Concepcion, Don Gullett, Johnny Bench, Hall of Famer. The 81 strike, WLW, Marty Brennan and Joe Nuxhall did a simulated game between these 2 teams, and the Reds won the World Series.
Whoa, look at that. That's a good one. I didn't know that one. So in terms of the thing. Sam's got a rebuttal here. So since this is a Cincinnati podcast, I got to go with the Reds. So, but Dave, all your points were good. I would have said one other one too, that, the 75 Reds actually had to play against everybody that was a major leaguer, whereas the Yankees,
right,
much of the major leagues was not the full population of baseball.
Right.
So with that thing, so I'm going to go with the Reds on that. Little bias too, I'm sure. So
I was going to say, they just had a row.
I agree. It's the Reds, but I'm just looking at some of these stats here. Lou Gehrig had 173 RBIs.
It's crazy.
5.
Yeah, it was just I mean, it was crazy. But they just had a murderer's row. They just had 3 guys in a row. The Reds with the machine. They had 1 through 8.
Okay, that takes care of it. We got our winners.
307.
What was that?
their team batting average was 307.
Yeah,
Whereas
but look who they
that
were
one
playing.
player currently with that average. That's
Yeah, but look who they had to play. I mean,
oh
you see Babe Ruth
yeah.
face, Steve Carlton one time, and those guys like that probably would hit them just because they would. All right, that wraps up our Great Debate 2. Next week we'll have Great Debate bracket number 3, and it'll be basketball, and Sam will be the one coming up with the questions and judging between Crawley and I. So look forward to that, and then I will wrap it up with football, and then we'll start on our different, the rounds 2s and 3, Sweet 16s, stuff like that. So and we'll tweak it a little bit just so that it makes a little more sense for everybody. But till then, gentlemen, you got anything else to add?
Just one more stat here on the 27 Yankees, just because I'm just the difference in the era. So the Yankees designated closer that season pitched 213 innings and had 19 wins. That was their closer.
Yeah.
Well, he probably how many games did he pitch?
He pitched in 50.
No, so okay, so he pitched 4 innings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and how many complete games do you see? Is that on there?
He had 6 complete games.
No, how many did the Yankees as a team?
82. So half their games.
Right. Yeah. So just totally different game. Heck, totally different game from 75 even.
Yeah.
But I think there's probably been a bigger change from 75 to today than there was from 27 to 75. Other than integration. That was the biggest change.
Right.
But outside of that, I bet there's been a bigger change since 75 to today.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing, it was just the top team in the American National would play in the World Series.
Yeah, there's no playoffs.
There was no playoffs. Up until 68, I think it was like that. And then from 68 on, then they had.
Well, it was just division winners, and then they added the wild card or whatever.
Wild card in the 90s.
And keep adding wild cards.
Keep adding wild cards.
Yeah.
So the Reds
have like 8 wild cards.
And then it's going to become like the NBA where everybody gets in the damn, it's like it just stretches on for another 6 months.
Only 16 to 30 get in.
Yeah.
MLS is the worst.
Well, it's because they change their playoffs every single year, so that's even more ridiculous.
Last year, they literally changed the rules during the season.
God, U.S. soccer.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. All right. On that note, we got to wrap it up here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in.
7-0 Reds.
7-0. Let's go. Hope Sunday we'll probably talk trade deadline, what they got to do. So we'll see. The next 7 games is going to be make or break for our boys in red and white. So until then, everybody have a wonderful week.
See ya.
Take care, everyone.